an incident I had, with the so-called shadow people. That's what I like to call them. That's what the world calls them. It happened to me a couple years ago in the summer, and I was doing some laundry, and it was about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was in my bedroom because I brought a load of laundry and I put it on my bed. And while I had my back turned and I was folding up my laundry that I just brought in, I felt like somebody was watching me. You know that feeling that you get when you think somebody's behind you? Well, that's kind of what I felt like. And I had the hairs on the back of my neck go up. So I turned around, and sure enough, there was this black mass, and it was short. It was about I would say about maybe 3.5 feet. It was short, and it almost looked like a being, a person, but it was all in black. And it just stood there, and the first thing I thought, because you always see these movies where, the person turns, and then they turn back really quick, 1 second, and it's gone. Well, I thought, when this is all happening and I was staring at it, and we were having a stare down, and we literally were having a stare down, and I remember staring at this black thing, and it was staring back at me, and I would not take my eyes off of it. I fixed it right onto it, and I swear it must have been there for about 3 or 4 minutes. I just stared it down, and finally, after that, it dropped down in the ground and it disappeared. And that's how they do it. It was weird. I mean, it just dropped down on the ground and disappeared through the floor. The weirdest. I felt like it was an evil presence. That's how I felt. But it was weird how it could just drop down and disappear through the floor. And that's how these things travel, these shadow people. I had another incident, and this was just the last summer. One of my best friend's father died, and I was in the house at the memorial. And I always used to see, every time I would go in that house, I would see this thing. It was short. It was running. Like, it would run from me as soon as I walked in the house. And it was scared. Like, I remember at times when there was laughing going on, it would run away. It was like very negative. I felt like it was very heavy, very negative. And that was the feeling I got. So, and this was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon with that one I saw that dropped on the floor. And then what I was just telling you about the memorial. And it tried to get me in the room. It was right next to me. I heard the floor creak, and I turned around, and it was this black thing standing next to me. It was so scary. I ended up leaving, and no one knew why, but I kind of think that, because I've always been this way, and I feel like I'm kind of like a radio. I'm so in tune to the earth that I can sense a lot of stuff, and I think my mind is able to see things that regular people can't see. But that's because if it's meant for me to see. Sometimes there's not. So I think these weird things, because they're different sizes, these black shadow people thingies, they're different sizes, and I think they're basically demons. I say spirits, and whenever I say spirits, I mean a negative spirit, a negative entity. But basically it's a demon. I don't believe in ghosts, and I've seen a lot of them, but in my eyes, they weren't ghosts. They were evil entities. They were just plain. That's why people shouldn't play with the Ouija board. If you don't know what you're doing, all you're doing is opening up a portal, and this is the kind of things that happen. Like, people like me have to deal with this stuff. That we, being attacked in our room, or seeing these black energies because of people playing with witchcraft and black magic and Ouija boards. So, I mean, If you're going to get into bad things, don't let... We already have enough things loose on earth. We don't need any more. Because once you open the door, you cannot close it. I'll tell you right now, and I've seen these things attach themselves to people when I see people walking. It's just horrible. So next time, just think. Maybe you're not seeing what you're seeing. You're seeing what you thought you're seeing. Does that make any sense? So don't rule it out. Have a nice day. Bye now.